People are still trying to speculate whether we had that bottom. Every day that passes, it seems like that bottom has formed and we are moving past it. And this one looks at volume, previous volume spikes, these big sell volume spikes, right? Like a big dip. And we did have a couple of those. So it does look like we are on our way up, but not out of the woods yet. We need to definitely see a little bit more momentum past 30,000, and then we'll be on our way. Here's another one from Plan B that's looking, well, this is looking like also a bottom has happened, that we were in that blue area, and now we're getting into the teal area, right? So this is also fantastic. According to Crypto Rover, Bitcoin has never been more oversold on the monthly than today. Well, there's a lot of long-term macro charts that basically say the same thing. You can see on a monthly scale, going all the way back to the beginning, there's been very, very, very few times where the RSI dips to this level, which is marked in red, right? And my camera is cutting off, but if you take a look, if I could shut off my camera here, you'll see that, yeah, on a monthly scale, Bitcoin technically has never been this oversold. And here's the kicker. Even though it has never been this oversold, it's still way higher at 23,000 versus 3,000 the last time it hit this level, and versus 160 the time before that. So we're in a much better spot right now than before, even though we are this oversold, right? Bitcoin is strong, very, very strong. Just think about everything I've been saying, all the fearful things that could happen with war, with the economies, with inflation, with everything that's going on, fiat, devaluing, debasing, everything, right? And all the collapses that has happened in the crypto space, Bitcoin is still where it is at, 23,000, holding strong, and it's looking like it wants to flip to the upside. So that's, I would say, pretty bullish, right? That's very, very bullish. There's other indicators like Illiquid supply shock. You see a big spike recently. What does that mean? Well, that means there's a lot of buying going on and being taken away from the system. Illiquid supply just means system, Bitcoin that's not on the exchanges, being basically taken off and stored into cold wallets. And you're seeing a big spike. Now, some of that could be due to the hacks that we've been seeing, right? With Solana, with their wallet, with Harmony, with Nomad, with Ronin. I mean, there's just way too many hacks, but that could be. But I think part of that is also just people just buying in because they're sick of everything else that they're seeing right now, right? So there you go. Also, Nupal, which is measuring unrealized profit and loss. Usually when you have a ton of people that is facing an unrealized loss, guess what? That's usually a bottom indicator because that means there's a lot of capitulation. People have sold off, and that's usually when you want to buy. When people are fearful, people are just like, I'm done. I'm getting out. This is all Ponzi. This is all scam, right? Whenever you hear everyone say that, that's usually when you want to buy because that's when everyone has capitulated. That's basically what this is measuring, and we are flipping to the upside from capitulation, just like previous times, like 2020 and 2018 and 2015, and even going back to 2011, 2012, right? So another one of those bottom indicators. And here's another one. That's NVRV. Also, you can see bottom where we are right now, right? So there's just, point is, there's a million of these. There's a million of these models that's measuring the health of Bitcoin, the holders, the addresses, right? Comparing it to previous cycles, previous bottoms, and every single one is basically saying we have hit bottom and we're on our way to recovery. Now, all these could be invalidated if the macro conditions of the world gets worse, right? But in my opinion, they're not. I think we have seen pretty much the worst, and we're coming up from the worst, right? And I think things are going to get better, which is why I think these paint a pretty picture. But of course, if something drastic happens on a macro scale, then some of these will probably be invalidated. But right now, they're all looking good. And let's not forget that the number of holders are still increasing. I don't have the ones that show the number of addresses, but addresses that's holding 0.1 Bitcoin, 0.01 Bitcoin, 1 Bitcoin, 10 Bitcoin, 1,000 Bitcoin, 10,000 Bitcoin, they're all at all-time high right now. People are stocking up, and that's what you want to see. I don't know if a lot of you guys know who Peter Brandt is. I used to follow him on Twitter. He would go back and forth. He likes to pick on Bitcoin a lot, yet he just revealed that Bitcoin is one of his largest holdings, which is weird because if you look at his charts and look at his tweets, he, for the most part, it looks like he's very negative on the entire space, but it turns out that he's actually a hidden Bitcoin bull, which I guess is good, but I don't think a lot of people know who Peter Brandt is, but supposedly he's a legendary trader and he's been in the space for like 40 plus years. Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it. Why not? What else is there? This is measuring RSI, turned into raindrops for whatever reason, but again, I covered this yesterday. If you're looking at a monthly RSI, it is very, very low. In fact, the lowest Bitcoin has ever seen in its history. This is looking at the weekly RSI, which is also very low and coming up from a bottom, just like previous times. Good. Good. And if you want to look at Fibonacci levels, well, Bitcoin bounced off a critical 0.786 level, and then it started rising. This is the same as 2018, when it found a bottom at 3,000 and bounced off and continued forward, right? So there are a little bit, some similarities. And lastly, look at this, the net position change of Bitcoin on the exchanges, and you can see there's massive. The red means Bitcoin is flowing out, green is flowing in, and you could see right now where we are is very different than some of the previous times when you may have seen Bitcoin flow into the exchanges, right? Like back in 2021 when the miners were forced out of China, you see there's a big green spike because they were forced to sell. But right now you could see it's nothing but big red spikes because there are so many people getting into space and buying Bitcoin and removing them from the exchanges. So this is also very, very positive. If you are new to the space and you're looking to buy your very first Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any other crypto, head over to CryptosRus.com and click on Best Crypto Exchanges. This will give you a list of all the major exchanges out there to choose from.